Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons.
Welcome back to Two Dudes Watch Cartoons, the podcast where two dudes, that is us, watch cartoons. My name is Evan.
And my name is Alex, and I'm the king of the pirates, baby! Ooh, okay, we got a good one for you today. We are covering a classic, our favorite, Netflix's live-action One Piece Season 2, and we're joined by our favorite crewmate, Tommy Chopper. Tommy, welcome back to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm so excited. I've been thinking about this for way too long. I've actually been working on this mushroom soup that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks delicious, actually.
Now, Tommy Chopper, since last we spoke, was the last time you were on One Piece Season 1? I think
so.
it might be.
We might have done a Vox Machina between then and now.
But I was looking back. So One Piece Season 1, late 2023.
So
it's been
2.5 years ago.
It's been 2.5 years. And like the heroes of this show, we've all sort of experienced our own time jump of sorts.
That's good, yeah.
I
We've
had just had a
aged.
kid last time you were on. And since both of you are now married.
That's right.
What a time jump it is. Congratulations to both of you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Thank you. No,
Thank
it's
you.
that's a good way of looking at it. We've all really grown.
And you-
individually and as a crew. It's beautiful.
Just like Luffy, we also needed to grow our ships and
Yeah.
keep those ships afloat.
And you want to know the worst part? In those 3 years, I haven't even made it to the time jump in One Piece yet.
So this is going to be the first thing. We were going to roast you. We're like, we've all caught up since the last time,
know.
right, on the anime? Me and Tommy, because we were, it's because we don't have children, more than likely. Tommy and I, since the last time we have spoke, have watched every single episode of One Piece. Last time, we were nowhere close. Evan, in fact, you were ahead of Tommy and I last time we spoke.
Oh my God. How's that possible? Now, when you say you've watched all of them, did you first go through in like in a abridged, watch these arcs, skip these ones, or did you just tackle it all head on?
I can say for myself, I have watched every arc
How dare you.
and even some filler. I won't say I watched all the filler arcs, but listen, when you get to the end, it's like all you're looking for is more One Piece. You think you don't feel that way after 1,000 episodes, but I got that itch, and I'm like, all right, anything I can find, 4K kids dub, I might have to go look for it.
It is the weirdest phenomena going from watching like 15 episodes of One Piece a day to like waiting for one episode a week. So Tommy is hinting at, after our live action adventure, that was where I picked up in the anime. So I have now seen those beginning episodes, but I had not before. And Tommy is referring to the fact that I did skip a decent chunk of Skypiea. I was not into it. I was like having a tough time. I wanted to keep going. And so I got a little bit of a lowdown. I think I watched like the very last couple episodes and I was like, good riddance, Skypiea.
Yeah.
Since then, I have watched probably not all the episodes I skipped, but a decent amount of them. 'Cause like Tommy said, I need more.
As a captain, it was my duty. I had to let him
Yeah.
skip it, knowing that I might lose him forever if I didn't let him skip it.
That was where I was going.
I might as well have not watched Skypiea. It felt like a fever dream. I was like,
That's
very little sleep at the time, but like they're in heaven. He fights God at the end. Is that the same arc, or Skypiea is before he
you got
fights
it.
God?
No,
with the
that's
lightning?
he's fighting
Okay.
God. Yeah,
He's fighting
Eminem
God.
the rap God. Anel is literally based on Eminem too, which is fun. So, but yeah, we're talking a lot of anime, but we're gonna wind it back to the roots, back to when we didn't know as many Straw Hats as we do now. We're gonna pick up where we left off with the Straw Hats leaving Arlong Park and heading towards the Grand Line.
Yep.
And I'm blanking on the map. Loguetown is before Reverse Mountain, right? It's the last stop. But so, Loguetown, the beginning, the city that is the beginning and the end, and that's the name of the episode, very fittingly. I really like this. It's such like a cheesy and like I love this title. Does it mean more? Probably, but it very clearly is talking about the beginning and the end of Gold Roger's life, the King of the Pirates. And so I think what looms large over One Piece and these early seasons is the execution of the King of the Pirates, which jumps the whole pirate era to where it gets and where it goes. And that all happens in Loguetown.
Now, one thing I picked up from this episode in the flashbacks that I don't recall from the anime is a correction someone gives when they actually maybe this is maybe later in the season when the witch goes Gold D Roger, and they're like, you mean Gold
let's
Roger?
get right into it, baby.
And I was like, I don't recall
So
that.
that is in the anime, but it's
Okay.
such a blink
That
and you
early
miss
on?
it moment.
Okay.
It is. She's the one who announces it to the audience for the first time, talking to Dalton. So our pirate crew does not know this yet, but Evan is talking about the very last line of the season. So hopefully you watched it all. But she says, those D boys, just like Gold D Rogers. His name's not Gold. It's Gold.
Wow.
Yeah, and the will of D lives on, I
What-
believe she said.
The will of D lives on. What is that about? I don't know. And I'm not even putting on right now. I don't know.
Well, okay, but to connect it, there's the flashback in the beginning where
Let's
Gold.
get into it. This
Yeah,
is
Gold Roger.
this is out of order.
Okay.
This
yes.
does not take place in the anime. This is
okay.
something the live action has big decision here. But the
Yeah.
live action decides to take Tommy set up this flashback between Goal and Garp.
Yeah, we see very quickly back in the heydays when I guess the end of the heydays where Goldie Roger is imprisoned, and our good buddy Garp goes to talk to him. They have a full conversation where we get to see, and I think this is what I love about these flashbacks, that like back then it was like, I don't know, they were more cheeky. Like it was less like you're a bad guy. It was you look at us playing board games almost on the open sea, like just having fun. And then we get a big reveal in that Goldie Roger asks Garp to find his son and look for his son.
So just like in season 1, they introduced Garp prematurely. Garp is not introduced. Evan, you might not even have met Garp. I think actually you have now, but like it's very late into the anime. So they said, you know what? Garp's here. And they threw all caution to the wind. They crumpled it up and they said, we're throwing this scene in here. Evan, since you haven't watched the anime, what did you think about this?
It added obviously a whole new color to this story in that I had no idea. I've been going through 300 episodes in without this context that Monkey D. Luffy is Gold Roger's son.
And so there's millions of people that like, oh, wow, he reminds me of the King of the Pirates. That smile, that laugh, that
Okay.
look at it. He's got the will of D in him. And so it is it's an interesting choice because there is part of this reveal that is like supposed to be like a reveal. You know what I mean? And so like there is, but for me, I love it. I love it in this position. It's so interesting to me. I can only say so much about it, I guess, right now. But I mean, it's very, like Tommy was saying, I love the mutual respect between these two. Garp is sending Goal to his execution. These two people should hate each other. And what's the last thing he does? He says, please watch after my kid.
And he knows Garp will, because at the end of the day, he knows Garp, and he knows that there's, regardless of how Garp feels about Gold, and I think he even says it as like, you know, like, he's not me. Like, he can't be blamed for what I did.
And this is a big One Piece theme that we'll pick up a little bit later. Like, do you blame the child for the sin of the father?
The sins of the father. Yeah. Interesting. Now, as the more seasoned viewers, from any discourse you've seen online, what is the reception to this like compression of the story, this early reveal, or just in general to season 2, having more context, you know, being on that side of the fandom?
I think most people are on board for it. I think there's that instant feeling of like, whoa, wait, you're like changing things, but they're not. And I think that's the thing that more seasoned media. I think when you look at the story, you can appreciate it more, as opposed to, I think if your knee-jerk reaction is any change is bad, you'll go in feeling that way. And I think if you go in with an open mind, I think it makes a lot of sense. Almost every like movement of the story.
150% agree. I
Yeah.
think if you look at it critically, there is reasons for every move, change, what have you. And so I agree, there's probably people out there that are like, they changed it from the source material. I hate it. And this is what I love about the live action, is I genuinely feel they are elevating how the story was originally being told, because it is limited by Oda having to draw and write week by week, and then the anime also extending, and like there's so many extenuating circumstances that to me this is so streamlined that it feels natural to me personally. There's never like, sure, maybe at first you're like, why are they doing this now? But like Tommy's saying, if you think critically about it, it all makes sense. Another change here is in Loguetown. We are introduced to a character that, for all intents and purposes, is not introduced to the anime till way later, but he's always been here. That's what's so nice about this, is they didn't change anything. They just changed the order in which it's revealed. So his name is Bartolomeo.
Okay.
He's got green hair, he's got the spiky teeth, and he's
he the
trying to
one
rob Luffy.
Okay. Is he the green cloak guy who fights Smoke or rescue?
No. That's his name's Dragon, and we'll talk about him. But this is a green-haired guy. He looks like a freak, if I'm being honest. They did a really crazy job with him.
Yes.
But his name is Bartolomeo.
Bartolomeo.
And so, what's nice about this is the first time we, the viewer, are in Loguetown, no mention, no see of him. He didn't exist in Oda's mind. But later on, when Bartolomeo is introduced, this is like a canon moment for him. You know what I mean? Like, this moment in Loguetown of him almost seeing Luffy get executed is a very big moment in his life. And so I fucking loved getting to see all of this, if I'm being honest. This shit is what I'm trying to save my hype here, but like, the live action is what made me fall in love with One Piece. You can call me a fake fan, whatever it is. All of this season 2, like, gave me such a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. I felt like I was home.
Tommy Chopper, do you feel season 2, season 1?
Oh.
Similar? One elevates, does season 2 hit the same way without like the element of surprise in any way?
I think it does, because I think season 1, it's like, if we're thinking at the end of the day, the live action is going to be like a multi-tier cake. And where, I think season 1 had to make that base. So there's only so much they can do. They're trying to introduce you to a man that can stretch, a guy that sticks a sword in his mouth. And so I think they did a good job in season 1 of establishing the crew. I mean, every 2 episodes there was a new crew member. So I think what season 2 does is, now that they've set up that base, it's focused on opening our scope to the entire world way more than we could have in season 1, and also focus on the characters as characters and their relationships more than introducing who they are as people. If we're thinking this like a D&D crew, it's like we got their backstories in season 1. Now we can see how those backstories impact how they navigate the world that we are also being introduced to at the same time as them. So I think season 2 for me just knocks out of the park of not changing anything from season 1 that was good, throwing out any of the things that were criticized. I think some of the CGI has been fixed, like things like that. But man, I've been really impressed with season 2. Loguetown in general, I really like it. And like Briz says, Oda doesn't write the story, or he's writing the story as he's going. And he's talked about it. He's like, I know like where it's going, but he's like certain scenes, and as I'm writing it, he's like, I let Luffy take over. He's like, I don't know what Luffy's gonna say. He's like, I'm just writing, and this happens. And so now that as an adaptation, they have all the source material, they can craft such a beautiful story because they know way more than Oda knew when he was writing this arc at the time.
Yes.
Whose arcs? Let's maybe, before we talk about the new characters, who's season 1 character of the crew, season 1 crew? Whose arcs did you particularly love in this season? Was there a standout?
I think there's 3 big ones for me.
Yeah.
I don't think I could pick one. Sanji's my boy. I love everything about Sanji. I think Sanji's great. I think they nailed the additions to Sanji that they chose, and just where they're taking his character as a whole. You can call me a resident Zoro hater, but man, I thought they did really well with him in season 2 with the whole Mihawk flashbacks and his scene in the sword shop. Like, I just am so blown away by that. And then the man, the myth, the legend, the Lord of Destruction himself, Usopp here, I think is better in the live action on Little Garden than he is in the anime.
That's pretty much the whole.
I know, that's why I was like, I'm cheating here, but like, and then we could get into it, but like, I think they elevated Chopper's backstory also.
Okay.
I think everyone, like, that is to Briz's point, like, it's hard to pick one because everyone's stories got elevated. Like, Nami, now that we've dealt with Arlong, we can actually focus on her as a character and not her trauma and, like, show her as the mother of the group and show how she's honestly, she's leading things. Without her, like, listen, love my guy Luffy as the captain, but Nami's laying down the law. I don't think things are getting done if she's not there, but I do have to give it to Usopp. I think season 1, I think a lot of people, he was great, but it was like, oh, he's better than the anime, but like, he's still Usopp. Can he do something?
Still Usopp.
Man, did he do stuff. And then he's calling out Zoro in Drum Island. I was like, oh, Usopp really is the Lord of Destruction now.
Yeah. What about you? It's been so long, and you're obviously not as well versed. What of the characters, what really resonated with you? What did you feel like was better or more memorable? That's probably a good way to put it. What did you feel like was more memorable in the live action than the anime?
I think similar to Tommy, I liked seeing Nami be acting more for her own, like having to work through her own like motivations a little more this season, and not so much the being held hostage, the ransom thing of Arlong Park. I felt like I wanted to see a little more with Zoro. I feel like after his one episode when they, the big action set piece, which I feel like they kind of blew their load early in the season. It's like, how are you going to top that? Like,
that was really good. And the actor has said multiple times, he specifically made sure it was 100 men that he fought because he knew the fans would count.
Yeah.
I love that.
Which is fascinating. Like, we're referring to a set piece where Zoro takes on 100 assassins. It's like Old Boy. You're like, you just follow him, you track him, he takes out a bunch of gangsters. And it's fucking awesome.
To add to what Britt said, it wasn't even just that it's 100 people. It's 100 separate people. They didn't reuse extras at all. They were going to, and he's like, no, it must. Fans will know it must be 100 different people.
I do agree. This is probably Zoro. I don't want to say his peak because I actually do really like him on Drum Island having to step up, but it's not as flashy, not as big of a moment for him. So I also, and we skipped over it, I love the scene of him in the sword shop. This is actually weirdly one of my favorite scenes in the season because I think that, how do I phrase this? They have done a really interesting take on Zoro where like his characteristics are still there, but he's just like 15% more stoic, but he's still cheeky. And when he flips that cursed sword, he said, let's put sword's curse against my luck. I knew what the result was going to be, but I was so there. I was so encapsulated. And so the one thing I did notice about Zoro, though, is, man, he maybe used that third sword one time all season. There was no mouth sword, and I was like, oh, it must be hard for him. But
no one was strong enough. No one's Mihawk. He's got to really save that mouth sword for the right enemy. My Zoro scene, because you guys named two, but I actually have a different one because I think one of the biggest changes to Zoro from season 1 was he was funny. The first season, the biggest complaint was he's just an edgelord. He's so angsty, and that's not Zoro. And like the scenes of him inside Laboon and I created a big sword.
It's a big sword.
I'm gonna hit the giant ball on his mouth. And she goes, it must be a girl. Must be a girl whale. So good.
That was such funny material.
Even him coming back from the sword shop though and being like, here's your money, and she goes, he gave you 2 swords for free? He goes, I haggled. That really got me. I was like, damn, that's funny. That's good.
So before we go further, and just looking at the numbers on Rotten Tomatoes, season 1 had an 86%, August 2023. Season 2 is currently sitting at a 100%.
This is what I'm saying, though.
Popcorn meter, 100%. Yeah, 26 reviews.
I think season 2 was banger after banger of episodes. And I think one of the strengths of One Piece, and we'll get into this more when I felt, but one of the strengths of One Piece is its emotional core. And I think sometimes the anime, the length it takes to get to that emotional payoff, sometimes you forget. You lose a little interest. You're not as connected as you were before. So, like, when the Chopper and Dr. Hirulek stuff is happening in one episode, I cried. I was not that moved by this in the anime. I could recognize it was sad. But like seeing it all connect and play together and the emotions the two shared and the dreams and the flag and the cherry blossoms, I was like, how did I ever like miss all of this? And I genuinely think it's just because it takes a lot longer to get there in the anime.
Also, what a beautiful celebration honoring of our healthcare workers. Takes me back to a time when we were outside banging pots and pans
For them.
for them.
That's so funny.
Now we don't trust them as a general population.
Oh, too soon.
Okay, I do have one.
Wait,
and
you know what?
this is
No,
not
no,
what the
before
show-
we get into before we get into that, I meant to say this at the top. I do think we are at the end gonna talk maybe a bit more anime only spoilers. We're gonna keep our best to talk in season here. So if that's what interests you, we'll do some of that more at the end for the people listening, not you, Evan.
I had one thought I wanted to respond to something. I lost it. But
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. I was going to say the emotional core thing you were talking about. I do want to preface this for anyone who, for whatever, listens to this podcast but doesn't watch the material. I know our friend Dylan
know
does,
you're
but
out
like
there.
if you're just coming by, like and you haven't seen this show, let me disclaimer: this show is very campy. This show is very fun. It's based off of a not a kids show, but it's based off of a very popular one of the most popular anime of all time. Which is for a very broad audience. So just be prepared for like levels of camp that you might be skeptical about on the surface. That said, I would be one of those people who might be skeptical of it. I think they do it's so earnest. Like it makes you be vulnerable and open up to it to like experience. And like if you let yourself over that edge, it's a whole lot of fun. So that's my only warning going in.
Yeah.
Second thing I wanted to say, which is a gripe, not about the show, but about the viewership, is I think there's a double standard in the fandom, in fandoms in general.
Oh?
Because there must be some overlap between One Piece live action, One Piece fans who are okay with thousands of episodes being compressed into an 8-episode season, and Avatar: The Last Airbender live
already
action
knew where you were
Netflix
gonna go.
fans who complain about 22 episodes being trimmed down to like skipping some stuff for 8 episodes, and if that's you, I want you to take a good hard look at yourself.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it obviously for limitation, time, budget, so many things, but a lot of times there's a lot of fat you can trim in these sprawling epics to get to something that is still honoring the original. So
I think the thing that is so interesting to me is we're saying Avatar does 22 episodes into 8. This literally covers season 1 and season 2. I genuinely think goes up to like episode 170 in the anime.
yeah.
So it is so interesting to see. I think, and I'm in agreement with you. We had our whole debate about like, it's an adaptation, people. Like, come on. I think this is more a statement of One Piece anime pacing.
Yeah.
I think Avatar: The Last Airbender's pacing is really solid, and so when people leave things out, it feels like a loss. Where One Piece, when you cut something out, sometimes you don't even notice. Like, I forgot about the rabbits on Drum Island for a minute. It just happens.
I also think it's the changes aren't plot changes. Where I think in Avatar it was entire like plot changes that maybe affected people more. Where in One Piece, like an example is the Laboon stuff. Like there's a change of how Luffy is able to convince Laboon, but it's still at the end of the day the result is the same. Like nothing changes for the viewers where they can be upset about it, even if the actions to get there are slightly different. And I think that's one thing One Piece needs to keep doing is like, we've talked about adaptation. It's a process. It's one of the hardest, I think, processes out there because you're not going to please everyone. But I think keeping the core of it, always the skeleton. Let's get the skeletons and keep those crisp because I think making sure that you get the themes and the overall motivations of characters are what it comes down to.
Yeah. Was there anything in these arcs ending at King Wapol? Do you think they made the right choices of like where they stopped, Like Laboon?
Such a
Where
great
else?
question, Evan. When we found out pre-watching that we were going to end on Drum Island, I said, what a mistake. What a terrible, terrible mistake not to get to Alabasta, not to go. Like, I could not conceive in my head ending here. After watching it, amazing conclusion, in my opinion. I thought it was beautiful. And it just goes to show they knew more than I did. They're better at
That's
this than
randos.
me. It was crazy, bro. Because I genuinely was like, what a mistake. And we're getting into how long is this live action going to take? How long is it going to go? We have since heard some more news
Just
about
ask
this.
McKenyu, yeah.
What?
I said just ask McKenyu. He almost gave up where Oda wanted to end it.
So in an interview, he has stated Oda has an end point in mind already
For the live action.
action. And the rest of the cast shushed him so quickly. It was one of the most interesting things I saw on the press tour. They were like, like as he was, and so we believe, anime spoilers, we believe they are heading towards the time skip. And that is where
Ending
this
it.
will end. Yeah.
And then they'll reboot with new cat.
And maybe I don't know, they reboot, they keep going, but I also think there's just an argument to end it at the time skip. I know that sounds crazy,
Yeah.
but you do it in a way like adventure is still out there and going on, but like, who knows? They might do it a different place. But that being said, with the things they're bringing in to all of this, like, they're gonna cover a ton. They're
Yeah.
gonna cover a lot, and that makes me so happy. Like, and it's hard not to just like talk about it, but like even the Laboon stuff, there's a flashback there. Once again, that's just out of place. And so it's things like that that tell me, you know what, I think they have a good plan in mind of what they want to include in this series before it finishes, and I trust them now. After I doubted Wapple being the climax of the, maybe it's just because in the anime I don't really like Wapple, but I'm telling you, Drum Island has been elevated on my list after the live action. I thought they handled it just so beautifully.
Was it Wapple's chompy mouth that really convinced you?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
guess.
Now, for those of us not in the know, how far off is the time skip?
You are
I'm
watching
in zombie. What is the arc I'm in? He
Thriller
just beat a
Bark.
big red Thriller Bark. Okay.
You are close to the time skip.
Okay.
Wait, right?
I think I can commit back to,
mean,
to get
I mean,
there.
Close in One Piece is relative, I will say.
It's another 100 episodes.
but it's, and I don't want to spoil it, but you are like 1-2 arcs from it.
Okay. Cool. That's
The ne-
motivation for me.
I knew it would be.
Milestones that I can get to.
And what I'll say is, God, we could talk about it later. Like the stuff leading up to the time skip is some of the best One Piece stuff there is.
Okay.
One Piece is like a wave. You know, it goes down, but you always come right back up.
Back, baby. It always comes back.
Tommy, do you feel the same? Are you perfectly content with where this season ended?
Yes. I think if we were looking to fit all One Piece, I think that's where we were originally thinking in season 1 of like, oh, well, they got to touch this, they got to touch this.
Yeah.
But I think knowing Oda's journey or direction, where he wants to take this possibly, I think it makes 100% sense. The things they're setting up, I think if we tried to rush this time, we would have lost a lot of the character moments that I think are needed in a live action that aren't as needed in a manga or an anime where it's like you're dealing with different beasts. Like you can't just rush into the next scene as opposed to in a comic or a manga. It's like one panel tells you an entire scene that they have to do differently. So I think it makes complete sense. I really have no complaints. Once again, my wife, who does not watch anime, hates it, loved the second season. So, you know, it's doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Just before the season came out, I was shocked. We were like, I thought there was a case to like skip Whiskey Peak and maybe condense Little Garden. Boy, was I fucking wrong. Boy, was I an idiot back then. Because like Tommy's saying, there was some breathing room. Like it's so hard to describe that they're doing like over 100 episodes of like this anime. It doesn't feel rushed at all to me. It does not feel any bits Like where I'm like, oh, well, I wish we spent more time here or there. Like, so getting into it. So they go to Loguetown. He's almost executed. Oh, we could talk about your mystery character. You don't know about Dragon? What did you think about that? Smoker and Dragon. And so this guy who in the live action we have never seen. I mean, I guess we see him lurking a little bit earlier in the episode. He goes out of his way to fight a Marine and save Luffy.
I don't know if I've met Dragon yet.
I don't think so.
I don't think I have, but it was
And
interesting.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
do like, so where I stand is like, I feel like you could have gone 2 more episodes. You could have condensed Drum Island. You could have gone 2 more episodes and like shortened Alabasta a little. I know there's a lot. Alabasta is a whole arc, but like,
Yeah.
we have Nico Robin, we have VB, like we have all the pieces there. I see how like there's like the sort of parallel structures of season 1 and 2. Season 1 ends with like, you know, Nami, her story. Season 2 is ending with Chopper. Like, so I get that parallel. I like the entry. We meet Nico Robin as a villain, and the payoff will be later. But it's like, oh, just give it to me right now. So, you know, I feel conflicted in that way, but you know, I will respect the creative decision makers here.
So yeah, you don't know Dragon. What do you think about Smoker? Just everyone now.
I loved every bit of him. I loved his massive bike. That was the most like cartoonish thing. I love the 2 stogies at once. Everything about him's awesome.
I love they kept the line where the kid drops the ice cream into his pants and you're oh sorry my pants ate your ice cream, and then the girl goes, yeah, thanks mister. It's like the most like all tropey like wow gee Williker kind of vibe to it.
So we talk about like the campiness of One Piece. I think a weaker live action gives him 1 stogie at a time. They're like, this is not realistic. But the 2 stogies is what makes him so cool, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I love Smoker. Smoker is my favorite Marine. Smoker has one of my favorite devil fruits. I think this is so handy beyond reprieve. I don't know how you would lose a fight if you're Smoker, but trust me, he's going to lose some fights.
Now that brings up an interesting question. Of maybe we'll cap it. Well, you guys will have more knowledge than I. Of the devil fruits that you've seen anime or live action so far, what devil fruit would you choose to have? What devil fruit power?
Yeah, good question. Tommy, you want to start?
I don't know if I can comment. There's a lot.
No, of the ones we've seen. Of the ones we've seen. We're
I was
not
like,
for
"You
you.
want me?
Yeah.
I'll
No,
say it.
no.
I'll do it.
No. Tommy, oh my God. I'm not going to spoil it, but if Tommy were to explain his favorite devil fruit, everyone on this podcast would think this show's actually insane. And they would be like, huh? Like, oh my God, do not explain your favorite devil fruit. Explain the favorite devil fruit for the live action, sir.
Okay, all right.
Of course. I think of the ones we've seen, I think Miss All Sunday. I mean, that just is ridiculous. That opening shot, I mean, it tells you, it builds out that character so well. That whole scene, also a throwback to that's the base that we originally came to on Shelltown or whatever it's called. That's the original base with a lot of those same actors coming back to reprise that attack on the base.
It's where we started, where Luffy gets the map with Nami and Zoro, and so she's there. What I really loved about this scene is if you were to tell someone the flower fruit, they'd be like, huh? Oh, she can generate hands in different locations? You'd be like, that doesn't sound that great. But in, 1 minute of screen time, they show why Miss All Sunday is like extremely powerful. And I thought it was beautifully done. Beautiful. Emphasis on beautifully.
Yeah.
I'm glad you heard it, Tom.
I won't let Nami hear it.
Holy crap. We'll just say it. Everyone on this show is so fucking hot. What's going on? They only cast the hottest people for every single character.
Abs
much,
everywhere. Even Tony Chopper, I think, has abs at one point.
Even Tony Chopper's voice actress is a beautiful woman. Like, what's going on here?
Tony Chopper is voiced by the buxom reporter from Superman at the Daily Planet.
That's right. Michaela Hoover, is that her name? And she's great. But so, man, they just come out of the gate swinging. There's Miss All Day Sunday. Nami's looking good. Vivi's beautiful. Like, they said, we are only casting the most beautiful people. And even the men, I'm not discriminating. Luffy's beautiful. Sanji looks amazing.
Have you
Zoro's
seen the guy's Instagram? Dude is ripped. Actually, Luffy is also ripped this season.
crazy when they both jump out of the bed and there's 16 abs in front of me. I was like, how did this happen? Where did this? It's crazy. But so yeah, I think the flower fruit is one that I really like. As I mentioned, I love smoker's fruit. I could go through any doorway. I can have bullets pass through me. Like, I'm unstoppable if you give me that smoke, the plume fruit.
Yeah, I think of the ones I've seen so far, just even VFX wise, smokers
Hell yeah.
have probably been the coolest.
Yeah. But I really like I said, with Miss All Day Sunday and kind of Smoker, like, they're really getting into, like, oh, some of these powers are, like, really strong. Even Wapple, a little, is like, holy shit, he can do all of this with that fruit?
Yeah.
I think we saw all three this time, like with
Oh.
the types of devil fruit with both Chopper and Dalton having the zone fruit. Being able to change into.
So we saw Zoan, we saw Paramecia, and we saw Logia. Yeah, we did. Well, Luffy's our Paramecia, right? He's not a Logia. I always get that confused.
I think so. I think he is a Buggy.
Oh, Buggy's a Paramecia too. Oh, and then we skipped over it, but there's Alvida's actress who just for this 2 seasons lost a ton of weight and like just for this tiny bit. That's dedication, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe not the best CGI with her slipping around.
The
the
slipping was a little off for me.
You didn't love it?
I like the idea of the power, but it's an interesting one. It's very I was like, what are you looking for? Nico Robin, assassinate me challenge. No, but
this is a spoiler for later in the season, but yeah, just to reinforce what.
This is a great example of, like, she is terrifying with this power. And I think if you were to just tell someone, oh, she can sprout hands in different locations, people would be like, huh? What is that? Why would I care about that? But she's choking dudes. Like, she's putting guns towards other people. I love this sort of shit.
Well, on top of that, it's wild. Like, that's not quote unquote our normal. And I think what One Piece does so well is, like, if everything's weird, we're not questioning that Wapple later has this giant metal floppy mouth that comes out, because they've already set up the narrative that, like, everything is on the table. There is nothing that you can't see. And I think more shows and stuff need to do that. They're so worried about the
realism.
Alex and I were talking about this with, like, shows like Gravity Falls talks about this of, like, if you just go all in on it, no one's going to question you and challenge the world building that you set up.
I don't have a car at the moment, so I'm getting a lot of things delivered to my house. Marty has made it so easy because not only are they fast and efficient, but they're the cheapest option out there by far.
I get these matcha lattes that retail for like $45 for a 12-pack, and I've never bought it full price. I get it on Marty for $15. Marty's woman-owned, sustainable, socially conscious, and eco-friendly. What they do is they buy up surplus inventory from the top brands that you love, and they sell it to you at a lower price, so you save food waste and you save money.
That was my first question, was how do they get these things so cheap? But they have a model, and it's passing savings on to you. They got hundreds of items, fast shipping, no subscriptions needed, and you can save on all the great food that you love. We do have a discount code when you go to marty.com/2dudeswatchcartoons, all one word.
TWO, Dudes Watch
TWO, 2 Dudes Watch Cartoons, all one word. You can save $5 off your order.
Go to marty.com/2dudeswatchcartoons at our link in bio, or just plug in the promo code 2dudeswatchcartoons. That's TWO, Dudes Watch Cartoons. Thanks for supporting the pod. Go get yourself some delicious snacks. Alex, go figure out the car situation. I don't know what's going on.
I don't need to with Marty.
Back to the episode.
Two dudes watch cartoons.
Like we were saying earlier, the show is all camp, all maximalist, all colorful. The VFX, I mean, like, obviously Chopper looks good. CGI,
Chopper's great.
impressive
CGI.
Even. Like, it's probably some of the better CGI we've seen.
Let's get into this. 2.5 years ago, we did a podcast, One Piece episode, season 1.
Yeah.
We all made predictions as to what we thought Tony Chopper was going to be. Does anyone remember any of those predictions of what they said they thought it might be?
Yeah, yeah.
What did you say, Evan?
I thought it was going to be a kid with makeup and little antlers, and then turn into The Rock.
Yeah, I think I thought
Rock
it was
portion
just going to
wasn't
be
too
The
far
Rock.
off.
Yeah,
I was the
on board
only
for that.
one that said it's gonna be 100% CGI, and you
Which is
both
fair.
laughed in my
Which is
face.
Yeah.
Evan said it's gonna be Jacob Tremblay. He said Jacob Tremblay is
Which is a
playing
good
Tony Chopper, and I said y'all are fucking nuts, and it just feels good to get that "I told you so" out there. But we can move on.
In past Tommy and Evan's defense, the CGI of season 1 did not lead me to believe that would be a smart choice.
That's fair.
Here's a follow-up question though. Would you trade CGI Chopper budget if it got you through a couple more episodes to get through like Alabasta to get you further in the story?
Pre watching the season, I would have made that deal. Watching it now, I'm telling you, this was such a perfect ending, and I can't fully put it. And I think part of it is the anime Drum Island never connected with me in the way that it just did. This is the heart of One Piece. This is what it's all about here. And so to end on this Chopper and Hirulek relationship and him going out and pursuing to be a doctor and like the found family aspect of the two of them, like he is his son. Oh my God, I'm going to tear up just talking about it. Like, I think it would have been a disservice to tease us with more like, oh, we're in Alabasta now. Bye. See you in 2 years.
I'm becoming a little more receptive to how they've done it.
I think it also, keeping it a little bit slower, allows it to feel earned when Luffy is like, Vivi, of course we're coming with you. We're not just dropping you off. Like, I think if you rush that, you're not getting, it wouldn't feel as like, oh, Luffy's just doing this on a whim. It's like, no, they've built up that rapport, and it just is beautiful. I do with like Chopper and stuff. Dr. Hirulek's actor, phenomenal. You're acting with like a person on the ground just rolling around, and he is giving a masterclass performance in almost every scene he's in throughout that flashback.
There are two actors that, for all intents and purposes, are side characters, small characters, that the actors brought so much to, and that is one of them. Dr. Hirulek, holy shit, this man acted his ass off in these 2 episodes he was in or whatever. Like, holy crap, performance of a lifetime. And then Mr. Nine, holy crap, someone I don't remember from the anime besides like what he looked like. This dude had me tearing up when they're gonna kill him and they're like, your partner is actually Vivi and she betrayed all of us. Where is she? He goes, that's still my partner. Fuck me, are you kidding me? There is honor among thieves. Fuck yeah, Mr. Nine. That dude blew me away.
Bye, baby.
So while we're talking about, let's get into a bit of the Baroque works of it all. Just in an overview sense, when I'm watching the anime, I know because they're telling me they are assassins. This is a group of assassins. They just feel like another pirate crew to me. I actually really got the assassin feel from them, though, in the live action. And I appreciated that. What did you guys, gentlemen, think of the Baroque works and their agents?
Yeah, to that point, I wonder if it's like because we don't really see them on ships a lot. Like, I think we see a ship in Little Garden, but we're mostly seeing them at the place already.
Yeah.
We're saving that ship time only for our crew. That's like,
Yeah.
That's true.
as opposed to, so yeah, I loved all that. I think, like you said, I think every single one of them, I mean, I'll be honest, I think every character has been pushed forward from where they were in the anime of like, there's just more depth. They feel less one note. There's multiple motivations. I mean, Mr. 3, we obviously love that actor, and I think he did a great job with that role. Scary, and I think they did a good job of making me terrified of him and his partner, which I know did not feel in the anime. Like, she was terrifying. Give me creepy dolls and anything, and I'm out. Like, I'm running the opposite way.
When she's painting Luffy, and he's like, also great acting on Luffy here, when he's like trying to fight it and he's crying, but he's like smiling through it. That was some terrifying stuff. I love that.
I like that Baroque Works is sort of this overarching villain through these couple of seasons that they plant, and I don't know if the anime does this, that they plant in the first episode of the live action with Zoro killing Mr. Seven.
There is a mention, once again, this is something they added out of order. Once we get to Baroque Works, Zorro's like, oh, they tried to recruit me one time. But like the live action was like, oh, let's show that. Let's show that happening. That's what they even mentioned in the anime, like this dude killed Mr. Seven. They show us him killing Mr. Seven this time. It's great. It's really well done.
And then even having Garp like be a part of that from season 1, get that card so that he can pass the baton to Smoker and be like, it's just cleaning up those small moments that, again, like you said, it feels Baroque Works doesn't feel out of nowhere because it's like, oh, we've heard of them in the first season.
I think some of the powers we see also feel a little more threatening.
I agree.
Like the booger thing feels goofy in anime, but seeing like I don't know, it's fun. It's explosive, and then the girl who can change her body mass or whatever.
I agree. I think so. It's Mr. 5, and her name is Miss. Shoot, she's got a day of the week. Is she Miss Wednesday?
Valentine?
Maybe. Oh, Miss Valentine's. Yeah, it's Miss Valentine's. They, to me, were one of the standout duos. Like, together, they were really good. And they felt terrifying when they kill Vivi's Ingram. It's a great scene. And once again, they don't shy away from the goofy, the weird. Like, they just embrace it. And it's in today's media landscape where, and I know like The Dark Knight's one of my favorite movies of all time, but it like really strips down Batman to bring him into a real world situation in these things. This has gone the complete opposite direction of that, and it's so refreshing. Mm-hmm. Like, I did not think he was going to be picking his nose and flicking boogers. I thought they were going to do something else. Now, that's another one of my favorite fruits, though, is the bomb fruit. I love that shit.
This may be a little off topic, but like, is there another anime out there that you think could be pulled off live action like this with the same, not necessarily camp, but like the same commitment to like the same faithfulness, maybe?
I'm actually just off the rip gonna say no, because I think most other animes, their goofiness is played for gags and laughs. Mm-hmm. So like if they're trying to keep the serious moments serious, they try to cut a lot of those out. Like if they're doing a Naruto live action, we're not going to get like a sexy jutsu. Like I don't see that happening. But because it is so woven into every part of the One Piece world, you can't separate the two without drastically changing the source material.
Fair. I think I would agree with
I would love it if they tried. I just don't I don't think it will happen, if it makes sense.
Because everything, even like a Dragon Ball, eventually you get into the power scaling thing of Dragon Ball Z. Same thing with Naruto. Yeah. I don't know how My Hero Academia plays out, but that one starts a little, like the shonen tropes, I think, persist through most of the genre.
I think a live action My Hero could stick the landing. That's going to be real CGI, though, because everyone's just got different powers. It's not like they're not like they're in Japan. You know what I mean? They're not going from island. I think that's also part of this is like the One Piece world, the setting is so unique. I don't know. That's a good question, though.
We were just talking about Baroque Works.
I never understood why they were called the Unluckies. I never understood why they were called the Unluckies, but they're Mr. 13 and Mr. Friday. It's Friday the 13th. Yeah, they're the Unluckies. I love it. I love it. But so yeah, Baroque Works, I think they did a good job explaining Mr. 3, the wax fruit, why he's taking his time to do this elaborate thing where he's turning them into wax figurines and statues. Because in the anime, it's very much like, I'm gonna sit here while you dangle slowly over this pit of sharks. I like that the other two are like, come on, let's get this over with. And he's like, that's not how I do things here. He was amazing. He was so good. He brought a lot to that character. And hopefully he'll continue to keep bringing
this actor has had quite the come up. David Dastmalchian.
Yep.
Who was in the aforementioned Dark Knight. He was the crazy guy who gets set up by the Joker.
Every time I see him, that's the first thing I think of.
Mm-hmm. He was in Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, recently as the Polka Dot Man.
He was, yeah.
And later this summer, he's starring as M. Bison in the Street Fighter movie.
Wow.
Like the main villain.
Good for him. I love people that enjoy nerd culture like that. He's like collecting Infinity Stones of franchises.
Yeah, and not to mention, obviously, One Piece.
Yeah.
Which I think he did because his son, one of his kids, is really into One Piece. So he's like, yeah, like I'm. And I think that goes. I hear that a lot with people of like they do it because of their kids. Kids keep telling your cool actor parents to do properties that we want to see them in.
It doesn't always pan out because that's why what's his name? M. Night Shyamalan did the Avatar live action movie, The Last Airbender.
There is
You mean
no
perfection in Ong?
Ong. There is no live action in Bossing Say. Okay. So I think they really nailed the sort of like the threatening nature of Baroque works, where I feel like in the anime, it was very much like, oh, well, they keep beating everyone they see from Baroque works when they see them. But like, it didn't feel that way to me this time. Like, yeah, they took out the unluckies, but like they didn't like best any of the others. You know what I mean? They got away from them, but like they didn't have the upper hand in a lot of these situations.
And yet they're still allowing the possibility, like what Miss All Sunday and Mr. Zero was saying at the end of like, we need to get to, these are our amateur assassins. There is even better assassins,
Better
at
ones.
the closer to the top. So it's like, I agree with you. I think they did a really good job of like, they're threatening, but also so, and mostly they're threatening is because if anything was if anything was done bad, if they did a poor job, it's obviously made them more threatening because they became more unhinged as
They became
as their
scared.
plans. Yeah,
They're like, we cannot fail this mission. That's not an option. And so I really like the way that was done. But so while, we have the whole wax cake scene that they're doing, I thought that was really well done. We're also on Little Garden. I think we got to talk about the two giants, Broggy and Groggy. Mm-hmm. What did you think of this, Evan?
I had a lot more fun with that episode than I thought I would. I think maybe it feels like filler in the anime, or maybe I came into the live action feeling like it was going to be filler,
too.
but like
I did too.
the honor stuff and like the Usopp has some great moments in there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the next One Piece anime arc is going to be going to Elbaf. Is that correct?
Spoilers for the manga, not even anime. They are in Elbaf currently in the manga.
Cool.
And
which is Land of Giants.
Which is the Land of Giants, thank you. And there's some cool hints and Easter eggs they decided to drop in the live action that I really can't say. Like, I just actually cannot. Like, it's a disservice to people who are anime only. Like, but like, and they're not big things, but it's cool. It's interesting. Yeah. Tommy knows.
Don't worry about it. It's cool. It's cool.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It's as cool as Mr. Prince in this episode.
Speaking of Mr. Prince, so to me this was always just a random name he chose. Like it had no weight, significance, no anything. But then we get to what is maybe my favorite scene of the whole live action season 2. It's when Sanji is telling Nami about his mother when she's sick and why he started cooking in the first place. How his mother was sick and he would make her meals, and even if they weren't good, she would eat them, and she'd say, "Thank you, my little prince." And he thought he was helping her get better. And he eventually tells us, she didn't get better. But this is another thing that is out of place of the anime, but it is so well put here.
Yeah.
It is, this to me, and I know I've been glazing for an hour, but like this is the art of storytelling, in my opinion. Like this is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes to me. Like, you can't get better. Like, this is why bringing things in from different points later in the anime is worth it, in my opinion. The depth, the emotion, the connection between Sanji and Nami that it really brings, like, that's all tangible stuff that has... It's so good. What did you guys think about this? This is towards the end, after when Nami gets sick. But Sanji kind of goes through this backstory a little.
It was so sad, and Taz acted his booty off in that scene. And I mean, just in general, like, I love that they're showing him more nurturing than the
horny.
Nami Swan-ness in the anime. Not that I think that has its place, but I think
You're fine.
here...
You can roast him, Tommy. I won't be offended. Tell us how you feel. He knows I'm protective over Sanji.
It's because how much I'm impressed with the live-action version. Yeah. It's nothing against the anime, but more on that of even the scene that got me a little bit more was when Nami wakes up and is like, I'm fine, whatever, I don't need food. And he's like, with like tears in his eyes, and he's like, Nami, you've been out for 4 days.
He's like, you need to eat. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think he did a great job with it, but I think giving that context in the anime, I think surprise is a big thing. But I think knowing motivations in the live action, we're investing in this crew. We need to know like all as much as we can. And I think it was so sweet how he's like, every meal I still cook is for my mom.
Stop.
I also think this actor of our main crew has probably one of the toughest jobs. He has to be a very proficient martial artist. He is. If you look at his Instagram, he is doing flips and stuff. Other than like the crazy wire fu ones where Sanji does like a upside down kick tornado. Like
No, that's him. He's just doing that.
Yeah.
There's no wires. How dare you?
no wires.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but he's a very proficient martial artist. Obviously, I've seen him cook. I believe he does some cooking.
He's learned
or at
cooking
least in some
for
of the
this as
press
well.
stuff. He
And he learned
prepares some of the meals.
bartending for
And he
this
learned
season.
bartending for like one scene in this movie. That's crazy.
Hey, Taz. See, I know you're listening. Real quick, you gotta stop. You gotta stop doing
making
all
us
this
all
cool
look
stuff.
bad.
My wife cannot stop talking about you, not Sanji, not the character, but you.
You.
And I need you to cut it out.
Chill, man. You're
Can
making
we
me
watch
look.
Tommy, can we watch One Piece?
Yeah.
again? Let's run it back.
Hey, could we just watch Taz's reels on his Instagram real quick?
No, but so, and it's not just Taz, but I think we just listed a bunch of examples here. They all know what these characters mean to fans. Even if it's not everyone's favorite character, it's someone's favorite character. And they give it such care, compassion. They're not nonchalant about anything. They are nurturing this like it is like a baby bird that's going to soar into this beautiful. Like, even Zoro's actor is now playing the One Piece card game professionally. These people are ingrained into the community at the highest level. It's just, like, so awesome to me.
I think he plays with Oda. Like I think
He plays
him
with Oda, too. Yes, they play together. Yeah. Yes, that's how he learned. Oda taught him. Oda loves him. Oda sent him a text, and Oda sent him a text. It was like, let me know if you're able to hang out this Saturday. If you are not able to, just don't reply at all. I don't want to know. Huh? What? That's so funny to me. That's so, like, he's like, I don't want to get my hopes down. Like, just don't even text me if you're busy.
Have either of you played a set card game?
I have not
we know how it
played, but I have opened some cards because I'm a freak, and I made a pretty penny off some of them, if I'm being honest. I was surprised. I sold 7 cards, and I made like $350.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. So I was surprised by that.
An active second market here. All right, I can get
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah. And 4 of them were Boa Hancock, who I don't think Evan knows yet, but that will be funny later down the line.
Okay, so let's imagine that time jump is the end point. What do you think that looks like in terms of how many more seasons do we get?
Oh, good question. Tommy's going to be better at this, so I'll talk while he's thinking. But so it's going to be,
Maybe. Okay.
we're on 2.
Maybe
Alabasta's 3. So we've got 3 locked in. The question is, where do they go after that? I feel confidently 3 is going to be all of Alabasta. It would be weird at this point if it's not. I'm guessing 7 or 8 seasons.
Like a Game of Thrones.
I'm also thinking that, and I think that's also what I've heard is that you said they could do it in. I think they could do it in 6, but they'd rather have like 8 to 9.
Interesting.
Yeah, and some of this is going to depend, like, how much of Skypiea do they filter? Do they spend a whole season in Skypiea? Or, like, do they spend a whole season in Thriller Bark? I'm not sure that they do, but
Yeah.
they could, if that makes sense. I don't know.
I have, Ingrid, obviously my context window is a little shorter than yours, but I had an interesting thought. Like, what if next season is all about Nico Robin and takes us from Alabasta, her joining the crew, to Water 7, her big moment?
Look, I love where your head is at. Like, I would love
But just
something like that.
unrealistic 3
But,
arcs.
and I'm going to beat Tommy to what he's going to say, because we've had this conversation.
Okay.
You really need to build up Nico Robin's time with the Straw Hats for Water 7 to have the impact that it's supposed to have.
Okay.
Did I get that well? Did I do that well, Tommy?
You did pretty well, yeah.
If you can't
What's
tell,
the
me and Tommy
Chopper version? Yeah.
me and Tommy have talked about this for 17 hours offline. So
Yeah, I think it's like I think I feel about this. It's like you needed all this time to bond with BV. You needed that time. I think it's the same with Robin. I think we're gonna need because I think in the anime it's interesting is you are bonding with her, but then I think when gets called out, you're like, oh, how much do we actually know about? And I think it's important. Like that's an important.
Kind
need
of
the
the
false
glass
sense of
shattering of
comfort,
like, oh, she's
security.
been traveling with us, but how much do we actually know about her?
Fair enough. Okay, you guys. I keep thinking I'll poke holes, but like,
yeah.
you guys
But we've
come with receipts.
Oda actually has us trained as well. Anyone that
Yeah.
talks about One Piece, Oda
Yeah,
has
you guys
us
have gone
prepared.
through Oda media training. I think this is a good segue then, because you just mentioned Vivi. Let's talk about our 2 new crewmates this season, starting with Vivi.
Vivi.
This
So-
actress is from
Bridgerton.
Yep. Okay,
Where all the hot people come from.
I guess so. They're all
I
British
don't
accents.
remember, and maybe Tommy can correct me. Do you remember the Vertigo dance? Is that a thing that happens in the
Do I
anime?
ever?
The
But
only
like,
thing I do remember.
yeah, this was.
I was like, yeah. I was like, what? I don't.
I don't remember that happening, but hey, I was here for it. I watched.
I do only because of how, even in the anime, it was kind of
It was
wild.
very like,
Oh, we have to go. Okay, I guess this is her thing. And I was like, yeah, for sure, they're definitely gonna just cut that. It was a silly thing. It's like
she
in the
doesn't
same
do
way-
it again.
Yeah, there's like a silly moment between Zoro and Luffy in the anime in Whiskey Peak, and like they cut that. Makes
Yeah.
complete sense why they would cut a ridiculous scene there. And I was like, I thought that about Vivi. I was like, oh, they're gonna cut this. Nope, we got the whole thing with the saxophone and everything.
It was awesome. I loved
Yeah.
it. So I think we'll start with Vivi and then let's get to Chopper. I loved. I don't. I loved it. I loved everything about Vivi. I don't know. It was. I think it reinforces so much when Nami's like, "You're not gonna understand Luffy. He does what he does, and the rest of us trust that it's right." Even if we don't get it in the moment. And this is a big thing in One Piece, is the questioning of Luffy's leadership style. Because he's not navigating them. He's not, like, he is, and maybe Tommy could get me this better. I don't know how to describe Luffy's leadership style. What is Luffy doing that is just, like, enamoring these people, Tommy? What am I not able to verbalize?
He leads unapologetically. He makes choices that he believes in, and his crew believes that he will do what's best for them, and there's an unquestioned loyalty I think you gain from the fact that he's so confident in his beliefs and his, like he says multiple times, his gut, his intuition, I think is you know, if we're looking at him like a D&D character sheet, there's certain areas where maybe he's a little weaker on, but I think his perception of other people, his emotional intelligence, I think is something that draws his crew in. And you know, I think that's what we get with Vivi, and what I love about that duo that we get to see in Little Garden is that I think they're both learning from each other. I think Vivi's learning how to be a little less leadership by, like, royalty leadership, where it's very much leading by a code. And I actually think Luffy gets to learn that. We see that in you know, I'm jumping a little bit, but Drum Island, where he bows and realizes not everything needs to be a fight. Like, you can use your words, and you can. And I think that's what he learns from Vivi, while as opposed to, I think Vivi learns, like, sometimes taking a risk is okay. Sometimes going with your passion, your dreams, your drive is okay to do sometimes.
I
Be
think
selfish.
Vivi also stops, looks around, thinks about what's going on and what she should do next, where Luffy is like, I'm going. Boom. It's happening now. Like, Luffy doesn't do that. And something, and we haven't fully got into this, but it's apparent. Luffy 100% trusts his crew to do what they need to do in certain situations. He doesn't micromanage. He doesn't boss. He doesn't order. He just knows that if these people on my ship have the best interest of the crew at heart, they're going to do everything they can in any given situation. I don't need to tell Zoro, go get that man, or Nami, you go in that building. He knows that if I trust them to make the right decisions, they also then in turn end up trusting him to make the right decisions. Even though on the surface, a lot of Luffy's decisions don't always appear logical or like the best of calls. Like, why would a pirate crew want to help a princess get back to their land? But, like, Luffy's all in on this. This is the only, like, where Vivi is like, well, you guys have your dream of going and finding the One Piece, so we'll separate once you drop me off. And he's like, that can wait. We have to deal with this right here, right now.
Now, does this tie to sort of Luffy's definition of being a pirate? I think there's like a little bit of monologuing in the
yeah.
beginning, where it's not so much about looting or treasure.
It's about being the
I guess-
most free person possible.
And that's what he does. He platforms people's dreams. Vivi's dream is for her country, is to help her country, her freedom. So he's going to help that because that's her dream. Usopp's dream is to be a brave warrior of the sea. So when they're fighting Mr. 3, and he's like, "Cool, Usopp, you got this. You can take 2-on-1, right?" Because he believes in Usopp,
believes
and
in
he gives
him.
him the opportunity to make those dreams happen. It's like I think that's part of it, right? Like you're right. It's that what drives him is helping others achieve their dreams and become as free as
It was
possible.
not a smart decision for Luffy to let Zoro fight Mihawk in season 1, but he looks Zoro dead in the eyes and says, "You follow your dream, right here,
To
right
be
now.
the greatest swordsman. Is
To
that-
be the
Right
greatest
here,
swordsman
right
Yeah.
now."
If becoming the greatest swordsman in the world means beating this guy, kick his ass, Zoro, even though the skill level, as we saw, was so disparaging. Like, that is not a logical decision for a captain, but Luffy is 10 times out of 10 always making that call.
Dig it. I love it. I'm getting hyped up just listening
That's
to
what,
you guys talk
that's
about
what I'm
it.
saying, man. It is such a unique, like, look at, like, a team. Like if you take like a team of people working towards a similar goal, normally they all have, well, this is my cog in how we're gonna get to the One Piece. This is my cog of how we're gonna get to the One Piece. Luffy's not looking for people that are actually going to help him, like you know what I mean? Like, he's not, granted, he got a navigator and all this, but like, he's not like looking like, oh, I'm gonna recruit someone who has already maybe found all of this information, and then they're just part of my crew, and I'll skip ahead 6 legs. That's not what Luffy's looking for. He is looking, you know what? I nailed it. He inspires those around him with his actions. Boom, that's the tagline. His actions inspire people to be the best versions of themselves, whatever that means.
He likes people for who they are, not what they can do for him. Like you're saying, like Chopper in the anime, they specifically mentioned this is like he doesn't know Chopper can turn into the different. At the point he asked him to join the crew, he doesn't know he can transform, or I think he doesn't either. No, he doesn't know he's a doctor. He knows he can transform, but he doesn't know he's a doctor.
Yeah.
And like that's the whole reason you would actually have him on the crew. Is he
Fair
can-
assumption about a reindeer.
you don't know a bunch of Dr. Rangers out there.
Hold on. Yeah, he invites Chopper to do it that before he knows that all of this, that Chopper couldn't be such a huge help to them in that way. Let's get into some of this Chopper and Hirelek stuff because it's so dense, but it's so good. It's so good. This to me, once again, like I said, is why people stick around for One Piece, is Luffy putting the hat on Nami's head. Chopper come back with the mushrooms and Hirelek eating it. Oh my god, bro. Oh my, he said, no, look, the crossbones. It's right here. It means anything's possible. He taught me. The crossbones means anything is possible in this world.
The most clever twist I think I've seen and read in the longest time, because I've seen so many reactors react to this, and everyone has that moment of, oh no, the minute you realize that he thinks the crossbones is a positive thing, and we all know with our context, that's bad, that's toxic, you don't want that at all. So tragic. And he's like sitting there humming, sitting there with his little feet kicking, and he's humming a nice tune. Fun fact, that tune is Baku wa Doctor song. It was a viral song that went viral like 17 years ago. It's like Baku wa Doctor, Tony Chopper, and both him and Dr. Hirelek hum
They're
it.
humming it.
And they do that with a couple songs. Just we can go back to Chopper, but with Sanji's fight, the hold music that the snail's playing and he's like dancing along during the Unlucky fight. That's the OP. I think the second OP from the anime. They're like playing it.
I
in the
for
back.
sure caught it was the opening. And then there's also, once again, out of place, but Laboon, the song. They do the flashback in the song. Binks Sake is a very important song in this anime, and they've already introduced it in season 2, which is just astounding to me. I was gonna sing it, but I won't waste our time. I know it word by word. That's how much I love it.
Also, honorable mention, we get Dr. Kureha, played by Katie Sagal.
Kathy.
Who is
Kathy Sagal.
the
Famously
voice
the voice of
Layla
Layla,
from
yeah,
Futurama.
from Futurama.
And I didn't catch it at first, but as soon as Tommy told me that, I said, oh my God, it sounds just like her. How did I miss it? And you know what? We're so enamored with Hirelek and Chopper. She did phenomenal too.
Yeah.
Hers
Looks
is a hard
great
roll.
also for 139.
Yeah, it looks awesome for 139, those abs. But so like she gets the moment of like, go, get, I don't want you no more, boy. Like, and it's so, I knew where it was going and I got emotional. Like, I knew she didn't actually want him to leave and like think he's a stupid reindeer or whatever. Like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. Like I said, I've just devolved into straight glazing. I don't have anything critical about this. It's fucking amazing.
We were talking about Luffy's character and trying to describe it, but I think like in a meta context, Luffy is a good representation of the show because there's a lot of skepticism. Like, why do people love this? It looks on the surface very much like any other shonen anime, manga. Has a lot of the tropes, power scaling, leveling up. Gears 1 through 5, apparently.
5? What?
Like,
I don't know.
really, can it really be that good? Can it really be that much better than like the most popular of all time, the ones that came before it? And I do think there is, like, as someone who's like very slowly getting into it, I think there is a lot under the surface and a lot to cherish here. Have you guys been seeing the things like occasional CNN clips or like a reel of like this anime logo or symbol is being used at protests worldwide?
Yeah.
And, like there is this, it's like popular globally, but also there are these leftist undercurrents, this anti-capitalism. That,
Luffy is the most leftist anime character of all time. He's close to an anarchist, if I'm being 100% honest, but he is a great symbol of a revolution, is what I'll say.
Yeah. Okay.
He challenges the societal norms, and I think that's something. I think it's why we all love it so much. Is like it's. I think we are constantly told in life to not dream. And the minute you grow up, you have to get rid of your passions and work hard, and that's what's important. And I think Luffy is the exact opposite, where he's like, if you follow your dream, he's like that's the saying of like, if you follow your dreams, you don't work a day in your life.
But it's just like he's not like coming to these conclusions of hey, the systems are wrong by like anecdotal, like, oh, I met Vivi and now I realize the corruption. He just is. I think that is also one of the things that is really hard for people to understand about Luffy is like, sure, he'll learn and grow, but like his core beliefs, his values, he just is. Like, I don't know how to describe it other than that. Like, he's not like, oh, well, my grandpa Garp taught me that this is wrong. Like, he just knows when something's wrong and when something's right. And I think that's really such a testament to, like, us as humans. Hey, if you hear that someone is cutting school children's lunches, almost 500,000 per month in the US, you know deep down that's not right. You don't, there's no mental gymnastics or Luffy's like, I as a kid didn't have school lunches and so that impacts me. He just knows. It's ingrained in who he is. And he almost sounds like this stubborn, pig-headed guy, but like, and he is in a little aspect, but it's more about like trusting his gut and his instincts.
He lets nothing impact him. I think that's like in life. If someone fell outside, maybe you won't.
Even how cold it is.
Like maybe you want to help them because of the image it might give or the perception that others might. He doesn't care what others think about him. He doesn't care if helping Vivi will get him. Someone else on the crew cares if they get paid, but. Luffy doesn't care about that because for him, it's Vivi has shown that she's our friend. This is important to her.
This is important to her.
It's you're right about the like. He sounds like a kid sometimes because it's very black. It's weird because I wanted to describe him as black and white. Sometimes with those views, it's like someone is being hurt. I will help them. It's very much in that matter of fact way.
Yeah, like the eternal optimist. Sort of similar to another summer blockbuster we all loved, Superman. Less about a character being changed by the world, but the characters in the world around. Yeah.
I 100%, and I mean this with no sense of irony, Luffy and Superman would be best friends.
I dig it. Yeah. Tommy, I don't think we've ever had the occasion to talk about Superman. How did you like the Superman 2025 movie?
I loved it. If this is,
we don't have to kick you off the podcast.
He goes, well, and before he even finishes, he's just gone.
actually,
I had my finger on the button.
I think it needed more Superman killing someone. That's what it really needed.
Yes. Really missing that.
No, I loved it, and if that's how we go out in the Warner Brothers world,
Well,
No, don't even.
yeah.
No, I refuse.
I've read The Optimist. Think like Luffy.
you're right.
Okay, look, I'm sure there's stuff we missed. We've talked about so much here. I don't actually even feel like there's a lot anime spoilers we really need to get into. We've hinted at the things that are out of place. I don't feel the need to go in depth about any of them. I don't think just enjoy the ride, people. If you enjoy these live actions so much, jump into the anime. It translates. It's going to be the same. So I think we should probably hear. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tommy.
I think as a society, we need to also stop, if people are ignorant, let them be, specifically with us, don't let other, listen, there's some context where,
specifically media. Yeah.
but, don't point things out to people. Don't, ruin the journey for people. I think that's something that the one bitterness of One Piece fans. I do think they sometimes get too excited. And, just like Luffy, take a back seat. Let the journey, let's 1,000 episodes, let's let the pace simmer a little bit.
That's what I need to hear. As someone wading into the deep, deep pool of
That's
One
right.
Piece.
Look, I think we've covered so much here, but I do kind of want to go over our closing thoughts. Maybe give who's your MVP of the season, your favorite. Doesn't need to be MVP. Who's stand out to you, favorite moment, whatever. Just kind of let's wrap it up here before we, and then maybe give a rating out of 5 of what you thought for the season. I'm happy to go first if either of you, unless either of you two would like to.
I can go first. I feel like,
Please.
not that we particularly, she gets sick towards the end, but I really enjoyed Nami's just steady performance. I don't think she's really ever used too much for comedic relief or anything. She's just a grounding force in the crew. I don't think we had as much time to just sit with her as part of the crew and have her be that sort of comfort there. So
We're worried
it was
about
just
the
a nice
betrayal
constant.
in season 1. That's looming
It was a nice
large.
constant, whereas Sanji and Zoro have their competing things. They're on their own little journeys. So it's just nice to have something to come back to with Nami. Plus
And she supported a lot of people.
plus the storms, the
Those
crazy
storms. Dude, and I'm not even trying to be crude, crass, or whatever here, but it was a bazooka moment. She just came in, her abs, she just looked so good. Yeah. And what was so nice too is, and definitely Sanji would have had something to say in the anime about it, but they weren't all ooh, she just is. She's part of the crew. You know what I mean? She's not a female.
They're gonna have to skip some stuff in Thriller Bark.
Hey, shut up!
But that is important to Nami's character. I think it's a little well, no, sorry, not
no. No, I know what you mean.
Because Emily actually talked about this. Because it's so cold where they were filming, they were actually going to change the outfits for a lot of these scenes. And she's like, no, Nami must be in skirts. That is her character. And I think it's this empowerment kind of thing of no, Nami's going to dress however she wants. She doesn't care where she is or if there's a storm coming in that turns into snow.
It's snow, yeah.
That's her vibe. That's her character. And I love that Emily is so invested in Nami's character. And like I said, Nami really is the focal point. She connects with Usopp, gets Usopp to open up during Little Garden. She connects with Luffy and Vivi, gets Vivi to recognize what makes Luffy
her and Vivi moments are really solid in my opinion.
Agreed. Also, quick note, I really loved Chopper's macho, I don't know what that's called, but the makeup of it looks great. Yeah.
Phenomenal. And we didn't even need The Rock for it. Okay, so that's your MVP. What about your rating? What do you rate the season?
It's a
Do it.
It's a 5 out of 5.
Do it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do
It's
it.
so fun.
Do it.
It's fun.
It's great.
Yeah. I got no
Tommy,
complaints.
do you want to go next or you want me to?
Yeah, we do. You were doing MVP ranking, and then we're gonna
Just closing thoughts.
goes nuts. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I'll be honest, because it surprised me the most. Usopp, I think, is my really his where he was in season 1, kind of the goofy, I don't know why I'm here, and then getting him to kind of realize why he's here, or at least push towards a passion. I think meeting the giants, you could tell, really made him feel okay, this is what a warrior is. And I loved that journey. And then, like we said, then seeing him put it into action in Drum Island, where we see him step up time and time again. We saw him invent something too. That was pretty cool. He invented that little a harpoon thing.
That's cool.
And then 5 out of 5. But yeah, I think my closing statement: One Piece season 2 takes all the heart and themes of season 1 and then spices it up like our good cook Sanji, with more lore and world building that brings the scope of what One Piece can be times 10. And now that we have the crew, we can focus on giving them depth that will make the future relationship building moments that much more impactful in the future and more rewarding. And on top of the story, the attention to detail and respect to the original material helps please anime fans while not being too over the top where it impacts new viewers' first time experience with the world of One Piece.
Hot damn.
Yeah, that's a very astute observation. Because now that I think back to season 1, we do have to spend a lot of flashback time, like with Sanji on the rock, with Luffy, when he was a kid.
Yep.
And we just sort of get to like be with the crew this season, which is really nice. All right,
So
Alex,
good.
bring us home.
5 out of 5 to start. I'd give it a 6 if I could, but Evan told me I can't do that anymore. So
We might as well call this podcast Two Dudes Glaze Cartoon.
it's bad. I know. I'm sorry. I'm not critical. I'm a lover of media. Okay. 5 out of 5. It's hard for me not to give my boy Sanji the MVP, but in the interest of fairness, I'm gonna give it to Chopper because I think once again, I don't dislike any of the Straw Hats, but Chopper ranks a bit lower on my list of them, and that's going to be harder for me to do after seeing this all play out in the live action. I legit cried. I knew all of the story beats, but they just hit so much more differently this time. And I genuinely think it's because it was, just more succinct and not spread across a bunch of different episodes. And like I took a break for the weekend. Like it just was so well done. The father-son relationship, here, like even Dalton getting involved in being like, you're his son. Like it's just all of those moments, the cherry blossoms at the end, the Doctorine being like, go get out of here. Like all of that just it's so hard for me on an emotional level. It's hard not to give it to Chopper. Amazing introduction. And I do think part of that is, we only have 2 crewmates join as opposed to the 4 in the first one. And so I'm going to give it to Chopper, but I got to glaze Sanji a little before I leave because I think that he just brings... This is the Sanji I fell in love with. I started with the live action. I do think it is an improvement from the anime. Not to say anime Sanji's bad. He's got bad things that he does, but
He's a dog.
He's a dog. But
He's got that dog in him.
But in this one, it's really nice to me that they still keep the spirit of that without him being inappropriate. And I think that is such a hard line to walk sometimes, and I think they've nailed that. He's a flirt. He's a charmer. Like, they've made it less about him being creepy and it being like the Brock and Pokemon, and more that it comes from a place of, like, he just has a lot of love to give also. Fuck, man. I love this season. A 6 out of 5. I'm changing. Sorry, Evan.
Yeah. Now, what are you guys looking forward to in this next season? Let's assume it takes us through Alabasta.
It's a great question. I think Joe Manganiello, host of Deal or No Deal Island, is going to crush playing Mr. Zero / Crocodile. I think that he is going to be one of the things I'm really looking forward to. The little bit we got of him in this season, I think points to good signs for season 3.
Tommy?
I'm excited to see Vivi in her element. I think we did a good job of establishing her and now letting while we were dealing with other people's storylines, I think now that we're fully in Alabasta, I think it'll be very cool to see what Vivi does.
You're right. No, you're right. It's going to be a great season.
I will be interested to see the Civil War play out, just to see how they tackle it, scale-wise, production-wise, and particularly the Dark Knight Rises moment at the end of Alabasta. The flying off.
It is such a dark. All right.
Well,
How dare
listen, you for a little spoiler on the bomb going up, you better live action. Look, Pell better die. He better die. Go off in the sunset. I don't want to see him come back. I don't want it.
Oda has a real hard time killing characters 100%. It's not unheard of in One Piece. I'm not spoiling everything, but he does love a good fake death sometimes.
Yeah.
That just always seemed like the most egregious of them.
That's also a very anime trope, though, so it's hard to blame solely Oda for that. But
I would also say I'm looking forward to more Nico Robin. Nico Robin, assassinate me challenge, please. But
They gave
she
her that
plays the
outfit
villain
change too. Oh,
role.
baby.
She plays the role so well of like the alluring villainess that toes the line. She has that dynamic where she's like giving them little outs, like it could all be over if you just give me whatever this thing is, or I'll give you this if you just hand Vivi over. But I'm interested.
Anyone
to
that
see
just
play
shows
out.
up on the ship like that too, it's badass. That
Yeah,
shit's great.
badass.
Badass. Oh man, I think that's all we got though. We've talked about a lot. I'm sure we left out some good stuff, but it's just so fun and it's just so good. So good. I don't have anything else. It's great. It's great, guys.
We could talk for 6 more hours, but it's just going to be 6
Literally.
more hours of us glazing, being like, Crocus, he was great. Wapple, he was great. Like, everything we say is just going to be us.
I always thought Wapple got his metal mouth via his devil fruit. So that was a bit interesting to me that he just has a metal mouth.
Yeah, I believe in the anime that is the truth, where it's like after he got the devil
He
fruit,
implants it. Yeah.
he implants it so he can eat more
Whatever.
things.
Hey,
But, hey,
I don't give a damn.
works for me.
I don't give a damn.
A couple news things.
Yeah, hit me. I don't have anything. I'm sorry. I was
one,
unprepared.
This was today. Pixar and Disney announced that there's going to be an Incredibles 3 coming out June 16th, 2028. Thoughts,
That's crazy.
reactions?
I
Pitch me your Incredibles 3 right now.
I don't know because Incredibles 2 is good. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's bad. But do we need to keep going back to the Incredibles? I don't know.
Yeah, I think Incredibles 1 was so excited for a sequel. Was like, please give me something. There's so much opportunity where they left off to go in many different directions. I think the direction they chose with Incredibles 2 was fine for a sequel. I don't know where you go.
It's gonna be a
off
trilogy
of-
now. Yeah. I also have a hard time when things are trilogies that are not planned in advance like that, because then it's just 3 separate movies a lot of times. But
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'm not. I love The Incredibles, so I'll watch it.
Yeah.
You know, they'll probably. I bet you they time skip their own, and the kids are more adults. That's my guess.
Jack is the only one left at home. His siblings are all off heroin on their
nope,
own.
that's
maybe?
what it is. Nope, you've nailed it.
I think it'll be good. You know, Incredibles movies have a good track record. Pixar has a good track record, but I think this announcement has more to say about where Pixar's at. With like
Toy Story
they've not been
5,
able to
Incredibles
find
3.
successes with new properties. I know Hoppers just came out. I
It didn't.
have no
it
plans to
didn't-
see it.
yeah.
I don't think Elio did that great, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But well, you know, I'll be excited to watch the Parr family once again.
Hell yeah.
Second news item. Maybe this might be difficult to dance around because I know you're a no trailers guy, Tommy Chopper. The Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer reactions.
Yeah,
Have you not seen it whatsoever?
No, he has no
Okay.
knowledge
Hey.
of it whatsoever. So we're not going
All
to get
right.
into. You're fine.
You're safe.
You're fine.
You're
You can
safe.
put it back
You're
on.
safe.
We're not going to talk specifics, but I think we'll talk
Yeah.
vibes. The only thing vibed I think I want to discuss is me and Evan had opposite reactions. First time. I mean, not the only time, but it was a bit of a stark opposite reaction. I was very into the trailer, and Evan thought maybe it had a bit too much going on. That's where I'll leave it.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Without talking about specifics of the trailer, I think some of my reservations with it, which has recently changed, is the director, Destin Daniel Cretton, directed Wonder Man,
You're
which I
holding-
loved.
You loved Wonder Man, but
I loved Wonder Man, but I really did not like Shang-Chi. I had a lot of gripes with that. It had great action choreography in the first half, devolved CGI. And maybe that's more of a Marvel thing than it is a Destin Daniel Cretton, because obviously he's got the chops.
Wonder
with,
Man was
Wonder Man.
phenomenal. So I have faith. I think what we saw of the trailer, once again, vibes wise, takes us to a bit more of a classic Spider-Man for the MCU, which I'm excited for.
Third thing I was going to ask about was also just a trailer, but the Green
Just a
Lanterns.
Did you watch the Lanterns trailer or no, Tommy?
I saw it. That was one where I think it went on during the Super Bowl.
was
Or
gonna say,
sometime. I seen it, but I won't say I studied it intensely.
Same.
The
Yeah.
controversy that happened was Damon Lindelof, the creator, the GOAT, I might say, maybe the best TV creator of all time, not gonna lie. He made a joke.
Yeah.
He made a joke saying like, because there wasn't a lot of green in the trailer, people were upset, and they dropped the green lanterns. It's just called lanterns. He made a joke like, "Green is stupid. Why would we focus on green?" And a lot of fans were really upset by that, to the point where he issued an apology.
Yeah, well, because one of the Grant Morrison, big DC Comics writer, sort of had a reaction to it, which Damon Lindelof apologized for.
I think it was more tongue-in-cheek than people took it. When you're reading a quote versus hearing someone say it, I think that can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
But
also
maybe-
get it with like comic book fans take things very seriously. It'd be like being like, Batman, why do we really need to focus on the fact he's a bat? Like, why do we have to focus on...
No, it is a little bit of that for sure.
Yeah. But maybe this is a good segue into a comment you made earlier, Tommy Chopper, about whether or not you think what the future of
Don't.
the DC universe is with the current state of it. And,
No.
is Superman going to come
stop.
back and be enforcing
Please.
border laws? What are we going to get with this new David Ellison Paramount ownership?
I'm
gotta-
nervous,
Is it
guys.
I need
Reboot
to
City?
leave. I don't want to talk
Reboot
about
City?
this.
What do you? I
I
think that's the big question. Like, people are like, is James Gunn's run already over before it's like?
I will say Netflix made an announcement that James Gunn's shit was going to be left alone. And so if it's not, I want everyone that was mad about the Netflix deal to apologize to me personally.
Yeah, I think it comes down to that. We need to find out what's happening with James. Call up James Gunn. We need to figure out what's happening with him. And then I think I can give a better answer of what the future leads, because I think it stems on him. I think if he is off the project, then you're going to see someone
It'll
be put into
devolve
that
into-
position that will just follow what the overlords want. And I
Very-
think
The world government.
the world
It'll
government.
be Ben Shapiro. He will finally get back to his screenwriting career. Man,
How dare
wouldn't
you
it
talk
be
about this? Move on!
Wouldn't it be nice to just have the solace of being a Marvel fan right now? Just, could you imagine 20 years of continuity, world building? We can barely have.
I
like,
think that's
3.
all. I think their world's about to come to a halt or a head or a reboot. I don't know exactly why I feel that way, but I think these next two Avengers movies are about to shake up their whole continuity
yeah.
big time.
They
They've already been
playing
playing with it a little, where they've brought in the Fox stuff now. It's coming, I think, sooner than we think.
Do you think Marvel has masterminded this whole thing? They're setting up their reboot to happen right when the Warner Brothers ship is crashing. They set it all up. The puppeteers
Yeah.
It's
over
our
at
long
Marvel.
game. They're Baron Zemo. They knew exactly how everyone was going to react.
Yeah.
That's all I got news wise.
I got nothing either. This has been a really fun podcast, though. I'm glad we
Thank
did
you for
this.
coming back on the podcast, Tommy. It's been good to see you
I'm excited.
after such a long time jump.
Yes. I mean, honestly, so much has changed. We've met in person since then too.
You've met my son.
Yeah.
That was a nice
True.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But an honor to be on. Appreciate you guys always, and can't wait to talk again in 3 years when Evan's watched 10 more episodes.
Got him.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Hey, Tommy, you are a member of this crew.
Woo!
You're one of the two dudes.
Let me get my
two
chopsticks
dude
and put them in my
crew.
nose.
And people are like, "Why are there more than two dudes on the two dudes crew?" And it's like, don't
question it.
don't question it. Yeah. Great stuff. Evan, you have anything before I guess finish? Do I finish? I
Yeah.
finish. Yeah, it's been so long.
Tommy's a friend of the pod, but that goes for all of our
don't.
listeners as well.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Let me do
Well,
my pitch.
well,
I'm sorry.
No.
Tommy-
Tommy's a friend of, but this also goes for all of our listeners who've been listening along for almost 6 years now.
Yeah.
We still get a couple hundred listens an episode, which surprises me because
We've
are
dropped
very
off.
irregular
We
with this.
apologize.
So thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for being part of the Two Dudes crew. But a whole nother reason we asked Tommy to be on the pod, not just because he's the One Piece expert, but because you're part of another crew, the Spotlight crew, which both of you are commandeering. So tell me a little bit about Spotlight. What's going on with that?
I'll give you the pitch. Some of our fans know I was on a reality TV show. If you don't know that, you've lived under a rock these last 4 years. So
That's where I know you from.
me and Tommy met playing online social strategy games. We love Survivor, Big Brother, and so we are bringing an online reality game for fans of reality TV to give a chance for them to play themselves. It is called Spotlight. Evan played a test game of it back in the day. And so it's a high-paced, it's intense. It's about 3 hours. You could watch from home. It's on YouTube and Twitch. And you can apply to play yourself if you think you got what it takes to win. There's a cash prize for the winner, and it's just a new project that we're endeavoring on, and we're launching our first season, which is going to be 8 different games up until June here. And so, yeah, go check it out. You can find us on different things called the Spotlight Games, or just search Spotlight, or if you go to my page, you're going to see it. So we would appreciate that, and if you're into that sort of thing, definitely check it out. Tommy, you have anything to add? I'm sorry.
No, The only thing I would add is if look at the Instagram if everything interests you and you're someone that like wants to dive into a community that likes strategy, likes gaming.
Yeah.
There is also a Discord as well where
right.
we have a community that we are starting there for people who do want to dive into the little bit more the nitty gritty of the games going on as we continue the season.
That's right. That's right.
Now, I did play you said an early test version a couple years back. What has changed? What has evolved? What have you guys been working on behind the scenes?
I think back then it was very focused on, it's played over Zoom, and it was very focused on the group as a whole. And I think now our newer version has a bit more opportunity for one-on-one conversations with other players. I think the power that becoming the spotlight has taken on a little bit of a new twist and thing. So the concept of the game is every round, one player is going to have all the power, and it changes from round to round, and it's a group decision and then down to a solo decision. So it's varying degrees of power and control. And I think just back in the heyday, we were still testing out what works and whatnot, and now we're looking to bring it to a streaming audience for people to watch and enjoy as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Every round, one person has one piece.
Yeah, it has the one piece.
I don't know if that tracks. Awesome. I'm excited to hear. When is the first game?
First game's this next Sunday, which is going to happen
Probably after I get
this is aired.
the rate I'm going.
This is, yeah,
I
so
watch TV slow.
you are
going
gonna be, we will be mid-season when this airs, so check it out.
Yeah, check it out next podcast where we then say, remember that one game when we flash back to the game.
Oh, that's
You'll
good.
know because the page background will go between the cells will go from white to black. That means it's a flashback.
Okay, look, I'm gonna wrap us up here. Thank you for that. I
Please do.
almost forgot, but hey, if you enjoyed this episode, we love you for sticking with us. We appreciate each and every one of you. We have a ton more episodes that you will enjoy in our backlog. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Go check all of those out. Please like and subscribe wherever you're watching, and we'll see you next time.
That'll do it for this episode of Two Dudes Watch Cartoons. Catch you next time.
Oh, I still have his line.
Bye-bye, Chopper.
Two dudes watch cartoons.